Hi and welcome to another session of advanced readings. This is a technique that we use in spiritualism a lot, and it also inspired me when I had the oracle readings through the Nadi oracles, where our messages were given to me thousands of years in advance, mind-boggling stuff. And also, of course, it's used in when you're using clairvoyance by email reading and sometimes by telephone. You know things before the person calls you. So I'm inspired by this technique and I hope it helps you. There could be a message here for you today. So you'll see me working in blue light for this, because this is how the medium can get close to spirit. We often use a red or blue light in my circle, particularly if you're doing physical or trance work. Anyway, hope you enjoy these sessions. So I'm picking up here for somebody on the spirit side is talking about the recipient of this message is designing or something, doing fashion design. I feel that you're just starting out on your fashion design. You've left college, you've had a bit of experience, and someone's talking to me about encouraging you with your fashion design. And the person that's speaking to me, I feel would be someone that you wouldn't have actually known personally, but you've been a great admirer of. And you've been kind of deliberately trying to send out thoughts to them saying, can you give me a message and inspire me? You're asking almost for the muse to be with you. And this is like somebody that you have studied and somebody that you have had a great deal of interest in as a fashion designer. Now let me see if I can get you some facts first to prove that it's with you and it's this person. First of all, I want to say with your own home, you've been in a very recently had a very nice house, but you're in the process of moving and are at this present point in time living somewhere that's far from nice. It's a bit messy, it's not what you want, but you're thinking, okay, it's okay, I'm only here temporary and I can move on to my new apartment and then I can set it all up again and start from scratch. So you're in this position of transition, and that would give you the indication that it is with you. You're working with a new design type of company who are presenting ideas at this present point in time to a big organization. So you're working with a smaller design group. It's not just yourself. I feel I'm working as a small team, 3 or 4 people who are presenting fashion ideas to one of the big name stores or manufacturers. And it's quite a big break for you because this is quite a new enterprise with you. Now, I don't know whether I'm in London or New York, because I feel those 2 places seem to be significant to me. So I seem to be more in that style of fashion rather than Paris. I feel I want to be, and I think where I'm heading for is New York. Because as I'm saying it, I'm just getting a flash of the Guggenheim Museum there of modern art. And I feel that you would have perhaps recently visited the Guggenheim and be inspired by, I know the Guggenheim's not fashion, but I feel you've been inspired by some of the ideas that you've seen on display there, the ideas of form and colour and the ways you could take these things forward. So that's part of what I feel with you. Now, you've kind of there's somebody communicating to me who would be recognising the work that you're doing. And like I say, you've been studying their work. They were a well-known, I feel, designer from the past. I don't know who I've got, but you would know it. I don't, but you could perhaps give me some indication in the comments if this does make sense to you, all the things I've said to you here. And this person was very modern, ahead of their time, and seems to give me a sense of sort of like pop art type style. You know, we're talking about more towards Andy Warhol than Christian Dior. You know, I got this feeling of somebody that has a very radical pop influence to their work. So it's presumably somebody from the 60s type of time I'm feeling here as who you have asked to make the communication, because I feel that you're very interested, for example, in Andy Warhol and the things like the Velvet Underground music and things like that. I feel that is your influence in your work, and I feel like somebody is telling me here that you've been reading my work. You've got the book open in your room somewhere. There's a book in your room that has a note in it to the page that connects with the person in spirit. And there's something on the front of the book has something with the letter, begins with something with the letter C. So a compilation or cosmos or comic or something, a big C and the rest of it written on the front of the book. So if that does make sense to you, do put a comment in the comment below if you can accept this message. Now, I don't know quite who I'm with. You might be able to tell us who it is, but I feel it's a male person that's giving me this communication from the spirit, but the book gives the reference. And I want to say, you're striving for great things with your work. At the moment, you're working in a sort of a team, but you will be working much more as an individual and develop an individual name. Your success is going to come from New York. You also have some connections with the East as well, because I feel that there would be kind of tentative connections with China and silks and things like this, as if maybe you're using these products and some other influences coming in from the East, Japan or China or Hong Kong, something like that. Okay, do take their blessing, because I feel that you're being guided, as it were, by an inspired spirit from the spirit world that wants you to try to achieve the very best that you can with your work. You've been sending thoughts to them, they've seen it, they connect with you, and you're going to make it. So maybe that message was for you, and if it was, please do leave a comment in the comments below on YouTube so that other people can recognize that this is real. I mean, if you look back at some of the older videos, you'll see that some of the most strange and obscure messages have been taken to the letter, and there's been some interesting stories that have developed once a person has made the comment. So leave a comment, and even if the message isn't for you, it's still a good idea to leave a comment, because this helps spirit to connect with us and maybe get you a message next time. Okay, my next communication is for somebody. I'm in the southern hemisphere now. Either I don't know if I'm in South Africa or I'm in Australia, because somebody's talking to me. There's a man here with me at the moment who I get a very strong build with him. I've got very wide shoulders and a very masculine sort of feel to him, because he feels like he's used his hands and worked very hard through his life. I feel calloused hands here with him. And this man had very much a sense of to do with the earth, because I feel he has, there may have been farmers in the background of his life, but he himself, I feel, has worked with mining and has been more in charge of people rather than the pit face and things like this. But there's some form of mining, and it seems like something precious. It's something like either opals or diamonds or something, or gold or something like that. We're actually mining, and this man knows how to look for the right places. He knows where to look for he has the mind of a geologist, I suppose it is, isn't it? They can see which rocks are the porous rocks, which ones are the ones that would suggest the appropriate strata where to dig and what's underneath. So I get this kind of intelligence, but I also feel that a very strong man as well, because I feel I've got the hard hat and I work like this. Now, the person receiving this message has just made themselves a sandwich, and you have just had a sandwich as we've done this message. So I know this is happening. Although this has been done in advance, I'm being told that is what will happen at the time that you will receive this message. You've just had a cheese and tomato sandwich, I believe. All right, so that's what I'm being told. Put it in the comments if this has happened for you, so we can prove this link. And he's saying to me, he could also speak another language. Now, I don't know whether it's, if I was in South Africa, it would be something like Afrikaans, but I'm not so sure I am, because it had a Frenchy sort of feel to the language. It sounded a little less harsh than that. So he said he could speak another language and had to also spend some time in Europe because of this. He had to spend some time in Europe making some business negotiation about the mines. Okay, so that's his background, that's his work, and he's coming to you because he's talking to the family, because he was a family man as well. And I feel that he's talking about problems in the family, and the family are trying to up and leave. I think I'm in South Africa rather than I thought it could be Australia, because I think I'm getting up and leave, because I get the sense of wanting to leave the country that we've been in, because everything that he worked for before has gone. It's gone completely. He said they've closed the mines, they've closed all the work, and the rest of the family that still had connections with this, more serving to those societies. I feel that like shopkeepers and things like this that serve those mining communities, there's nothing, no one to serve, you know. And he's talking about we're up, we're going, we're moving the family. He says we're moving the whole family. Whether we're moving country or to another part of the country, I don't know, but he's saying it's probably the right thing to do. It's time to do that. It's like we've all pooled our money and we're going to see if we can evacuate from where we are, because we feel uncomfortable with the situation that's around, because it's like it's dried up. And he says it's like when a seam dries up, you have to give up on that seam. The seam's gone, there's no more left. We can't, the mine is exhausted. And he says it's exactly the same with the whole community that's happened there around you who's receiving this message. And I get the feel he wants to say to you that, you know, keep with it. It's going to be a difficult path, but keep going. He was a man that never ever gave up in life ever. He was an absolutely dedicated, hard-working man. He died of an illness that depleted him completely, sadly, because it was a humiliating illness, he says, because it stripped my body down to the bones, literally, before he passed over. But he says, you know, he's shown himself as you knew him, as the strong man that he was when he was young, and comparatively into the latter years of his life he looked like this. But he says, you know, you've got to keep fighting, you've got to keep going. And in many ways, you know, sometimes you just have to start again, and that's when the fight begins. So he's encouraging you and saying, don't worry, have a go, you'll get there. Now I've got a message for someone now, a young person, a young girl who's just passed their driving test, I'm being told. And I've got your grandmother here who's not been in spirit that long. About a year, I get the feeling with her that she's been in spirit. But she's saying, you've just passed your driving test. And that's the connection with who I want to connect with now. You've been very interested in all this psychic work for quite a long time, but you're particularly interested in ghost stories and things like that. And I'm being told that your grandmother was very good at telling like a Halloween story and things like that. She was quite an imaginative lady who could make up great stories and take you on all sorts of inner journeys to other places. And she says it was my stimulation of your imagination that got you very interested in the idea of first the spooky world, as it were, but also more seriously in the spiritual world. I feel that your grandmother here was also interested in spiritualism. I'm getting two names totally different, but I'm hearing both at the same time. I'm hearing Elizabeth and I'm hearing Mary at the same time. So either her name is Elizabeth Mary or Mary Elizabeth, or one or other of those names, because I seem to hear them both at the same time. I can't distinguish between what's that. So sometimes the names come, sometimes they come all at once, sometimes they don't come at all. But that's the name I want to give with her. She's a comfortable build lady. She's, like I say, she's quite fun in her manner. She's very hard working through her life. She was a very good cook. She broke her hip twice in the same place, I want to say. And I feel with her also that she loved her garden, and she's a lady that has a very sentimental side to her too. You should save everything, collect everything. I feel I've saved even the newspaper that I keep in the kitchen drawer. You know, I've saved greaseproof paper. I saved the aluminium and bottle tops and things still, you know. I feel that continued in her life, and a collection of tea cards and things. She kept everything. She was a bit of a hoarder, basically. And when she went to Spirit, they couldn't believe what a lot of rubbish she had, really. But there was everything you needed there. You needed an elastic band. There's hundreds of them, you know. That's what she was like. She'd lived on her own for quite a long time too, because Grandad had gone before her, and I don't think you knew your Grandad very well. But anyway, she says congratulations on the driving test. You're just starting out with the driving, and you're really still starting out very much in life. But she says you've got quite high ambitions. She says aim high, aim at the stars, and you may just hit the moon, because she wants to encourage you, particularly with your education, because it all stopped, didn't it? The education stopped, and now it's about to start again, and it's a bit like a car that stops and starts, isn't it? Sometimes once you get it running again, you can go who knows how far. So she's encouraging you to return and keep back in the education, because you want to make something of your life, she says. She didn't have the opportunity. She was quite an intelligent lady and could have won a scholarship as a young girl, but she couldn't follow it through. But you can, and you can do your work. And she's saying, don't worry about boys and the rest, she says. That'll all take care of itself. For the first step, she's saying, get on with your education and make a mark in the world. Okay.
So I hope that helped, because it's lovely doing this and giving messages to people out there, and I know some of you get very excited by the messages that you get, so thank you for your feedback. And if you do enjoy watching all this, why not come and get a reading at my website, because I've got a team of readers, you know, that are on there 24/7, and there's lots of special deals there at the moment. For example, in the UK, if you're a new customer, you can use our welcome offer and get 29 pence a minute for the first 10 minutes, so you can try a reading for very little. Same with the USA, we've got 59 cents per minute for the first 10 minutes on the welcome offer. So thanks for watching my channel, and do come back and follow us. Click that little bell thingy at the bottom of the page there. We do loads of things here, as well as all these readings. We've got my family involved, we've got all sorts of investigations, we've got my mystic talks, so we're inspired, we got lots of readings, you'll see our stuff with the media and all sorts of things. So keep watching, and keep watching now, because coming up will be the playlist of more videos like this one today, so there could be another message there for you today.